SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Does that tree have you worried? Want to get it cut down before the next storm? You need to call Max Tree Service and Land Management for your free estimate. Don't wait till it's too late. Call us today at 601-695-1717 or check us out on Facebook. Max Tree Service.
Your team, your town, your source. That's y'all sports. I'm Cliff Fur. It might be horse sports today, Brandon. Just hearing myself in my headphones, I'm like, boy, of all weeks for us to be recording two shows, I really picked a great time to be battling. I'm going to battle through, brother. I'm going to need you today, though.
Listen, I know that you have it in you, and you can absolutely rise above this issue that you have, Cliff. You're a coach, you're a mentor, you're a great journalist, and you're just so well spoken.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's just the smile gets bigger and bigger each thing I say. So,
yeah.
Hey man, glad to be back, and always look forward to this each week. And you just start tapping your mouth or something if you need me to fill in and ask the questions. And I'm here for you, brother.
Yeah, we're planning on doing 2 episodes this week, recording 2 episodes. This episode will air on Wednesday as normal. We've got a guest coming in. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. But then also, I'll be out of town next week. Look for a much looking forward to a vacation. And
where you guys going?
And well, we're going to the we're going to the beach. We're going to the beach, and we got some friends going with us. And, hey, our guest actually just walked up right now, so we'll get to her in just one second. But going to the beach, going with some of my folks that have been there with us throughout this whole beginning of y'all sports, and we're calling it the board retreat. That's something I picked up from a friend who works in insurance. Mm-hmm. And so we're headed to the beach, and really looking forward to that. But at the same time, going to have some work going on, and we're going to record another episode of Y'all Sports Radio this week that'll air. The voice is a combination of things. I had to raise my voice earlier today, but then also I'm back coaching.
Yeah.
And it just kind of reminds me of my old high school basketball coach, Dale Watts. A lot of folks know him from his time at Brookhaven Academy. And Coach Watts was just always a guy that after we went to team camp at MRA every summer, his voice was by the end of it, his voice was absolutely cooked. And I yell when I'm coaching. I'm a yeller. Were you a yeller when you were out there, Brandon?
I yell when necessary.
Encouraging yell.
Yeah, for sure. And, what I did find is when we started, I tried to prep myself in summer workouts, being loud and really stretching those vocal cords. But, that was summer workouts. But then you start with 2-a-day practice, and it's like, well, it seems like the first day, everything you worked for all summer, the kids are training their muscles. We're training our throats.
That's right.
And then day one, I'm like, man, I can barely. Somebody else has got to speak up because I'm out.
The kids today would call you cooked. Your voice is cooked. So I yell during practice, but it's an encourager thing. I mean, I'm coaching 7th and 8th grade boys basketball, so it's an encouraging thing. And if you use your voice as a way to keep their attention and gain their attention, and it just kind of had me thinking. I think we talked about this the other day. When you go to Athens, Georgia, they've got a practice field there. The University of Georgia practices on. It's got big privet hedges all around it. You can't look into it. It's got drones. It's got security watching it all the times. But if you're in that area, Kirby Smart is on a mic during practice to save his voice. Yeah. And if you want to hear expletives at a top level,
he's got them.
He's dropping them. Yeah. And Brendan, something I've started this week is I've been going out. My plan is over the next about month and a half is to go catch preseason workouts with all of our local high school football teams. We know it's just getting closer and closer to that time.
Oh, it's that feeling.
Yeah, it's as better than Ezra said, it's
the
a
warm and fuzzy
feeling in the air. And so, it definitely feels like football time in Mississippi right now with all the sweating that we're doing. But I went to Brookhaven High yesterday. I got up, and those guys work out at 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And, boy, I'm telling you, that's the perfect time.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It for about 15 seconds at one point, it almost felt there was this breeze, and it was like, oh, this is bearable. Now, the humidity was insane yesterday morning, and just watching those guys on the track, doing their sprints, doing their runs. But they got two groups. They got an outside group and they got an inside group. And the inside group, they got music pumping. But you would love this. Our guy, Corey McLaurin, Coach McLaurin, he's got a bullhorn. And he's shouting. He's telling them, giving them instructions. I feel like a bullhorn, that's a pro move.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely saving his voice by doing that. And listen, there can't be any confusion on what he said if he's speaking through a bullhorn. And so that's the most Corey McLaurin move ever is to use a bullhorn. I haven't been, but I've been enjoying the clip. And it brings back old memories for me, man. And like Brookhaven, when I was coaching, we would get up early in the mornings, go ahead and knock it out. And while it was cool and the kids, there was a little bit of a curve there because we used to, go from basically all day. Like you could show up at 9 to 7 that night. And I was like, well, hold on. That means a coach has got to be up here the whole time.
Yes.
We're trying to make this convenient for the kids.
Punishing ourselves.
But let's take a backtrack here and say what we're really doing. We need to be working out as a team and so always love the morning workouts. And like I tell anybody, you get up early in the morning, you get the work done, no matter if you're working in your yard or if you're working out for football, whatever sport. You've already done more than most of the people around you by 9 o'clock.
Hey, that's right. I got up this morning and made my bed.
Yeah.
And if I, no matter how my day goes,
if you had a
I
bad day, you can come home to a made
That's
bed.
right. That's a good feeling. And hey, going back to that whole all-day coaching thing, I was talking to Coach Luther McCray. He's a new hire at Brookhaven High on the defensive staff as an assistant. He had been at South Pike, and it's exactly what you're talking about. At South Pike, he had been part of a summer program where it's, hey, the weight room's open all day. Coaches are up there from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. And so they come to BHS, they get their work done from 6 to 8, and then they might go till 9 to do some other stuff, and then they release them and get home. And one thing that Coach Darian Dorsey, and I think I'll probably drop a clip of this next week, one thing Coach Dorsey said when we were talking was talking about how important hydration is, how important nutrition is, how important proper sleep is in order for those kids to maximize that time in the morning. And he said, one thing our guys will do is they'll come in and they'll work. Man, they're really working, Brent. I love being around kids that are like really, really working, putting that sweat equity in. And he said they get home, they're gassed.
Yeah.
And he's like, some of them fall asleep. They take a midday nap for 3 or 4 hours. They don't have a job. A lot of them have jobs. And he said then they get up at night and they're staying up too late. They're doing – have you heard this? They're on the game. You heard that? They're on the game. What are they doing? Oh, they're on the game. Yeah. Like I was teaching once and I had a kid. I'll never forget. His name was Anthony. And he had taken a test and he did terrible. And he was leaving out of the room and he was like, Coach, I'm not going to lie. He's like, I stayed up way too late last night. I said, What were you doing, Anthony? He said, I was on the game.
Hey, what you call it the game, I call it rehab. Because when I was in college, we would work our behinds off in the weight room or practice field or whatever. And, you go get your treatment after if you needed it or get some ice, whatever, carry it back to the dorm or apartment with you. But then guess what? We're about to link up. And when you're playing the game, you're sitting still.
No, you were playing like Super Mario 3,
no,
right?
Bro, we had Xbox, or they had Xboxes. I was just grateful to have a controller. One of my buddies' consoles. But you're just sitting around and relaxing. But the thing is that dopamine drip is a real thing. And when it's exciting, you're playing the game, whether you're playing a sports game or Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and it you can't rest And so at some point you got to cut it off.
This is how old I am. Our favorite game to play at Co-Lin when I was a student there, a buddy had a Sega Dreamcast. And there was a game called Virtual Tennis on there. And man, you'd fight over who got to be Mark Philippoussis.
I thought you was about to hit me with Mario Kart.
No.
We had some battles in Mario Kart, brother.
Yeah. Friendships lost. GoldenEye, N64, all that good stuff. Hey, last week on Y'all Sports Radio, we had Annalise Duncan. She won a national championship recently as a pitcher at Pearl River Community College. Got great feedback from folks that told me they loved that conversation. Annalise, special kid, kind of capped off a run that we had there of really special kids. I got to speak to Cervidium last week. Yeah. You weren't there.
I heard you ask, was I still a member? What a jerk move. I've been working tornado claims for the last month, Cliff. Give me some grace.
I didn't know if the Lions Club had stolen you away or something like that. So got to speak to them, and one thing I told them was, one of the things that I've learned in the last year of doing Y'all Sports is our kids from Southwest Mississippi, they can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in everything. So we had Abby Grace Richardson, we had Casson Thompson, then we had Annalise Duncan. And today on the show, we're going to have Coach Anna Nelson. And Anna is the new volleyball coach at Copiah Lincoln Community College. In fact, she's the first ever volleyball coach at Copiah Lincoln Community College. She's got to build this program from the ground up, and it won't be long now. And we'll be getting to go to Wesson and watching Coach Nelson and the Lady Wolves take the court in volleyball. And I've got a lot of questions about volleyball, and I know you got a lot of questions about volleyball. Yeah. What do you know about volleyball?
Well, here's what I know.
You got to be an athlete. You got to be an athlete.
You have to be athletic.
Yeah. There ain't no people looking like me and you playing volleyball.
Well, and here's what I want to know. Like, you're starting a program.
Yeah.
All right. From the ground up.
That's right.
That's what I want to hear about. You know, I'm a program man.
Yeah. Just like you got to start Brandon Shalmatar State Farm Insurance.
I mean, I had some guidance, but basically starting from scratch, all new employees. But when you're starting a brand new program, I mean, you have to implement so many things because there's so many moving parts to running a team, from recruiting to your practice schedule.
Oh yeah, I bet she's made more lists than Santa Claus could even keep up with. Well, we're gonna get to ask her all those questions, and we wouldn't be able to do Y'all Sports Radio if it wasn't for our great sponsors, such as Brandon Shalmatar State Farm Insurance, such as Sam Ballard with Good Hope Land and Timber, such as our title sponsors. They're in the theme song. That's Bank of Brookhaven and Toyota of Brookhaven, Yow, as the song says. And then we also want to thank our friends at Juan Seed Store. When this show is done, you'll be able to listen to it as a podcast, and that's thanks to our friends at Juan Seed Store. They are more than a seed store. When we get back next on Y'all Sports Radio, we got Coach Anna Nelson in the house with Co-Lin Volleyball.
Simply awesome. She touched by me in painted on jeans.
Looking for the perfect, unique gift? Visit Juan Seed Store at 636 Greenview Trail in Brookhaven. Discover our stunning waxed amaryllis bulbs. Simply place and watch them grow. Soy lotion candles from Waveland Candle Company provide an eco-friendly clean burn and provide a moisturizing scented lotion when burning. Sippy Scents out of Pearl has created the most intense fragrances for detergents, cleaners, room sprays, and oils. Shop these selections and more today at Juan Seed Store.
Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call Sam Ballard today at 601-669-5999. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
All right, we're back on Y'all Sports Radio. So excited to have Coach Anna Nelson in the house with us today talking Co-Lin volleyball. Actually, this was a show that we had planned out before, and if you're a Y'all Sports faithful listener, and so far we know Rob McCrary is our most faithful listener.
Yes.
So Coach Mack, you might remember this, but we were going to have Coach Nelson on to talk Colon volleyball, and then she had a emergency where her dog had torn boy or girl dog? Girl. Her dog had torn her ACL, and it was very informative for me because I didn't know dogs even had ACLs. Before your dog tore your ACL, did you know dogs had ACLs?
I didn't until I saw the bill for how much an ACL repair costs for a dog.
It's probably very similar to like a teenager ACL.
It was not fun to have to look at that.
Well, hey, we got a great pinch hitter for you that day. My wife, Angela, who actually works at Colin. She works in the Colin Foundation. I know you guys have talked a lot because, you know, what the Colin Foundation does is they fundraise and they run money through Angela's office. And you have been starting this program from the ground up. Was that something that excited you when this opportunity came along to put your stamp on it and to introduce this game to, Southwest Mississippi volleyball is just beginning to bloom and beginning to grow. Tell me about the excitement you've had over these last few months.
Yeah, really, it's been a really cool experience. I got hired in December, and it was one of those things of, all right, you can be excited for a little bit about getting this job, but you got a lot of things to look ahead. So I would say when I talk to everybody, I say I'm just as equally terrified and intimidated as I am excited, but I think that makes me smart and not naive to the task that I was up for in starting this program. But it's been a really cool experience watching everything kind of evolve since December.
I know that I've had a little bit of experience coaching on the community college level. I was an assistant basketball coach at Killen earlier in my life, and I know that I worked for Gwen Young, whose name is on the court, and he's got pictures on the gym wall there. And one thing that I learned from Coach Young was that our jobs as coaches are made so much easier by the quality of the players that we get to coach. And so you're selling this dream, and I thought one of the coolest things was the way that you guys announced your first signee. You went out and you got somebody that had played college volleyball already. That was pretty important. Tell me about your first signee, Coach.
Yeah, so Nevaeh is originally from the Mobile area. Her mom and she grew up in Orlando, going to high school. She got recruited out of high school to play at Bridgeport University, and if you don't know where that is, and it's a Division II school in Connecticut.
She's
Yes.
going from Connecticut to Mississippi.
Yes.
Is she here now?
She's not here now. She's living in Mobile for the summer and working before she gets here in July.
So Mobile, Florida, she knows about the humidity. It's not going to be a shock to her, but going from Connecticut to Mississippi, I don't know if you could have a bigger change than that.
Right. She was excited to get back down towards the south, to say the least.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. Well, she's about 5'10", 5'11".
She's about 5'9".
5'9".
She's got a really good vertical. She, looks the part in athletics. She looks sturdy and strong, and jumps very well. And I'm a big ball control person. I was a defensive-minded player myself in college, so ball control is huge for me, and she works really well on both sides of the ball in offense and defense.
Let's go back to Anna Nelson and growing up in West Memphis, Arkansas, right? That's where you're from. Did you go to West Memphis High?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Big, beautiful school there, known for great athletic. Well, the gym is nice. I've been to the gym. The gym is really nice.
Their gym is really nice.
Yeah.
Volleyball was kind of similar to, at the time that I was in high school, kind of similar to this area of Southwest Mississippi, really good raw athletes, just not access to the sport. And so I was one of the first athletes from my high school team that was a club player and played for an AAU travel ball team. And shortly after, it's evolved completely now. You've got our hometown rivals of Marion High School winning state this past year.
Oh, wow. Marion Patriots, is that what they are? Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
I love that.
Cliff.
I love mascots. Well, West Memphis is one of the best.
Stop flexing on us.
They're the Red Devils, right?
Blue Devils.
Blue Devils, yeah. I love a good Blue Devil. I was looking at your red shirt. So yeah, you get to play club, you get to play travel, and that's something I wanted to touch on as well. our friend Ben Sills, he works for SuperTalk. He does volleyball refereeing on the side. And he's explained to me, like, we don't really realize in Mississippi and Southwest Mississippi of just how big the machine of club volleyball is, right? He talks about going to their tournaments in Orlando and Atlanta and all these places where for weeks on end there will just be nonstop volleyball. That's got to be the kind of places you're going to recruit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I also coach for Infinity Volleyball Academy in Ridgeland, Mississippi, and it's a huge, beautiful facility that a lot of the kids in central Mississippi and even some in North and Louisiana, they all travel to. And we actually have our 17-year-olds there going and playing in Orlando starting Wednesday through Saturday this week. And then pretty much this whole month of June are all of our top teams from 13 all the way to 17 are in Orlando for nationals.
What age group do most kids that are serious about volleyball, how old are they when they start playing the sport?
I think a lot of kids are getting into it younger now, just the way that it's becoming so competitive. But in regards of college recruitment and everything like that, people really start thinking about it at 14 now of like, this is what I want to do. Not to say that if you start later, that's a huge detriment. Might be a little bit of a detriment, but not as big as people like to make it out to be. But a lot of them start thinking about it around 14, 15.
We've seen the sport grow here, and one of my favorite stories in my first year of having Yale Sports going was getting to see Lloyd Star and Coach Kat Wilson, who didn't play volleyball, but she went to Wesson, and Wesson's a place that has been playing a little bit longer than some of the other ones, and so Kat winds up. She winds up coaching Lloyd Star, and they had a great season. They make the playoffs. And speaking of coming to the game late, your first local signee was a Lloyd Star senior and Micah Claire Lowe. It's got to be a lot of fun getting to see somebody like Micah Claire. This opportunity for her to play volleyball at Colin didn't exist a year ago, and so. Tell me about getting to know her and bringing her onto the team.
Yeah, first of all, I'm super excited to have Micah Claire. Obviously, still getting to know our county schools and stuff like that. I'm not from Mississippi originally, so everything is still very, very new to me. Honestly, I had heard people talking on campus about Micah Claire, and I was like, who is this Lloyd Star kid? Like, who is she? Because everybody, hung the moon.
Her dad, Michael Lowe, he's a Lincoln County legend. So.
Okay. And so I actually, it was on our first early registration day in April or May. I went because we had half of our team there registering for classes in person, meeting each other for the first time. And in walks Micah Claire, and I hadn't seen her in person or talked to her or anything at that point. And I saw her and I was like, whoa. You're tall. You look like a volleyball player. You look the part, athletic, all of that kind of stuff. And it was just one of those things. I went up and introduced myself and, talked to her a little bit and told her about the open tryout we were having and said that I'd love to get to know her a little bit more and have her at tryouts. And so she came to tryouts, and she's newer to the game. She's still learning the game in and of itself since she is so new to the sport. But you could just tell in her eyes at tryouts that she was really eager to learn everything, and she picked it up really quick. And that's the kind of kid that you want to have on the team, that wants to be there, wants to get better, and is a good kid at the end of the day.
Coach, tell me this, as an outsider looking in, why do you think that Mississippi's been so late to the game as it pertains to volleyball programs?
I think for our state, we are a little bit spread out in our resources of clubs, and a lot of that has to do with some high school rules. There are some places that would be really competitive to put a club program, but you can't have a certain amount of members on a team that go to the same high school. And so that kind of puts a rink in the locations that you can set up programs and stuff. So we have Mississippi Matrix on the Gulf Coast. We have South Mississippi Volleyball Club in Pass Christian. We have Koki in Richland, Mississippi, and some in Hattiesburg. We have Infinity in Ridgeland. They have a branch in Hattiesburg as well. And then the North Mississippi, they go to the clubs in Memphis because that's what is closest to them. So it's kind of a location disadvantage, and then just the plethora of coaches.
What
that
about
we
the
have.
season? What time of the year is high school volleyball season?
High school, they start in July doing full team stuff in June, half of June, I believe, and then they go all the way until middle of October.
Okay, so it's summer, fall. Is that in line with the college season as well?
Yes. So our first game will be August 12th, and if we make it all the way, last game could be November.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and it's a sport that allows kids to play like Maddie Kate Britt, who's Lloyd Starr's best rising senior.
Yeah.
Maddie Kate is a really good basketball player and a really good softball player. Mm-hmm. But with that early season, it allows her on the calendar, Brandon. It kind of takes the place of a lot of places what used to play slow pitch softball.
Okay.
And slow pitch softball is one of those things where it was like, why are we still doing this? Nobody, it's like a church league thing. Like if I want to watch slow pitch softball, I'll go to Fair River and watch, Bradley White play for Hikes Retreat. But they changed and they needed something to pick up. They needed something to offer our girls. And I loved your answer there, Coach, about the clubs and things, and also probably like just the infrastructure of like you're talking about the clubs. You gotta have space to be able to have the courts and then also to have the good instructors in. And it does feel like for us in Mississippi, we're sitting here in Louisiana as a place that loves volleyball. They love volleyball on the North Shore. They love volleyball in New Orleans. And so our areas of volleyball are, the Mississippi Gulf Coast and Memphis and the Jackson Metro. You were an assistant at Brandon High School, right?
I was. Mm-hmm.
Top volleyball program in the state of Mississippi, right?
Absolutely.
And so now we're down here in this little slice of Southwest Mississippi. Yeah. And as we've done with soccer, we kind of came a little bit later, and now we're coming a little bit later to volleyball. But it's just exciting for me because, like we talked about with Micah Claire, it's just more opportunities for our girls, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think some of that responsibility does fall on the head coach of the team and that district for the community colleges in the area. I think the only way you're going to get community support is to pour into the community, and we have a need for this sport to grow, and the girls want this sport to grow, and everybody does in our area and counties. And I'm just excited to, obviously very new, there's been a lot going on the last 6 months, but I'm excited as time goes on and the future happens. So with our off season and stuff like that, like that is one of my goals next summer is to get in with as many programs that we have as possible, and just maybe not even just coach their teams, just maybe do some mentorship with the coaches, just teach the game and do that and be a good teacher and steward so the sport can grow itself.
Love it.
Well, I know there has to be a ton of excitement, but then also challenges with starting a program. But let's take it back a little bit. All right, so give us a 2-minute segment here. You graduate high school, and just so our local community can get to know you a little better, graduate high school, then where do you go from there?
Yeah, I graduated high school. I got recruited to play at Jacksonville State University. Okay. It's a mid-major Division I.
Florida. We know the Gamecocks.
Alabama.
In
Alabama. Yeah, Jack State. And so I loved my time there. If it was one of those places where if you took volleyball away, I would be just as happy as with volleyball. Yeah. My team and I won 3 conference championships there out of the 4 years. We all transferred because we had that COVID year, so we all transferred to places like Mississippi State, Florida Gulf Coast. One of my teammates is playing for the German national team now. Oh, wow. So we were really, really successful, and so from there I transferred to Southern Miss, and that's kind of how I started in Mississippi. And I ended up not playing that fall semester. I think I now know that it was the Lord telling me, okay, step out of your playing shoes, put on your coaching role. Yeah. So I moved back to where my parents had moved. They moved to Fairhope, Alabama whenever I graduated high school. I went on to work for a recruiting consulting firm in Pensacola, Florida, and had all my clients there. A lot of those clients play for teams in our conference in Mississippi, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, so you were helping kids get placed with programs, right?
Yes, and one of those was Jones Setter of the Year for their first season. She's going to MC next year. Really good friends with her and her family.
Yeah.
And then I was also a club coach full-time for the 16s, 17s, and 18s team in Mobile, at a club in Mobile, Alabama, and I was the assistant recruiting coordinator there. So I kind of got my start in my career in the recruitment side of things, networking on the opposite end of the spectrum of getting kids to all these schools with opportunity, whether it's academics or athletics. Moved to Mississippi. My boyfriend is a strength coach. He's the assistant AD of sports performance at Mississippi College. Yeah. So he's over all of their strength and conditioning department, kind of like Christian Brown.
Choctaws.
Yeah, and so from there, it kind of wasn't in the timeline for me to come on as the assistant volleyball coach. So that's when I went over to Brandon, and I needed that in my career because Kelsey Walker is really good about showing what a competitive program can be in all the right ways of the right culture and loving on those kids and having those kids run through a wall for her. And then from there, the Lord opened the door for Mississippi College, and I went to Mississippi College, and I was the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator. They've got a really strong 2026 recruitment class coming in, so I'm excited to see what they do with those kids. And then I wasn't really looking for anything, and Co-Lin kind of came about, and I think after like the 10th person that was like, hey, I think you should really look into this, whether they had no idea of what Co-Lin was, they didn't even live in state, or they were my family.
Most people, when they hear Co-Lin, they're like, what is that?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, what are you trying to tell me here, God? And like, let me listen to you. So came on campus, and everything was really, set in stone from there.
So you're talking about Mobile, you're talking about volleyball down there on the coast. Brandon, there's a school down there called Bayside Academy in Mobile that's literally it's a volleyball team that also has a school. The Alabama, they're a private school in Alabama. They do the competitive balance thing where if you win 2 state championships in a row, you got to move up. Mm-hmm. They started as a 1A, and then they ended up as a 7A. They won 21 straight state championships in volleyball. Yeah, and so that's a place where, hey, if I'm Coach Anna Nelson, I'm going to look for future Wolves.
Absolutely.
I'm hitting those places. And we'll talk about the players that you've signed and some of the exciting players you've got coming in and that we're going to get to see in August on the court at Co-Lin when we come back from our next break here on Y'all Sports Radio.
Good Hope Land and Timber is a full-service land and timber company that offers years of experience in forestry and land management. Our services include timber and land purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting. Our company has an experienced logging force that is trained according to the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Give Sam Ballard a call at 601-669-5999 for all your timber harvesting and land management needs.
Exciting news, Brookhaven. Juan Seed Store has a fresh start under new ownership. Meet Guy and Paige Nelson, who are thrilled to welcome you to our fabulous new location at 636 Greenview Trail. At Juan Seed Store, we're not just about seeds. Discover a wide range of top-quality feed, seed, and everything you need for your outdoor adventures. Explore our expanded selection of gardening essentials, pet supplies, and outdoor gear. It's a whole new experience waiting for you. Juan Seed Store, more than just a seed store. Visit us today and see the difference at 636 Greenview Trail in Brookhaven.
All right, we're back on Y'all Sports Radio. Cliff Furr, the Y'all and Y'all Sports, Brandon Shamatara, the Brandon Shamatara State Farm Insurance.
Get it out.
And we've got Coach. I can do it. The lozenge you gave me is starting to wear off. And then I've got Coach Anna Nelson joining us today. She's the first ever. She's a trivia question answer. One day we're going to say who's the first ever coach in Copiah Lincoln volleyball history. And you're going to say Coach Anna Nelson. Hey, Coach, one of our first ever guests on this show was Coach Malia Howard. And I've slipped up and I've heard myself a couple times. I almost say Co-Lin softball and I say Co-Lin volleyball. I'm correcting myself. But I know you guys have a close friendship that you've been building on, and it's pretty cool to come to a program and see somebody who has won 2 national championships. She's the best of the best. We're huge fans of her. Brandon, there's a job opening at Southeastern Louisiana, and I just want to go ahead and say they do not need to come sniffing around Weston or anything like that. We're big Coach Howard fans. We're big Colin softball fans. We actually did a show from the regional that tens of people listened to that we did recorded. Tell me about getting to know Mel and getting to know her program and seeing how they work.
Yeah, I actually was hanging out with her this morning just as it's getting closer to season rolling around and our girls moving in. Just kind of wanted to pick her brain on everything. It would be silly of me not to, with her, reputation, just with her relationships with players, and then obviously her rap sheet of success speaks for itself. It's been really cool. I think, for me, I'm a young coach. I'm a first-time head coach, and I'm not naive to the fact that I don't know everything. And so I'm excited to find kind of like a mentor in her on how to do things the right way and how to do it to where the kids feel impacted both on and off the court. And she's given me some really good advice, and it's a little intimidating following her up in the fall after the spring. Can't promise we'll win any national championships this first year or anything.
We're not going to do that, but hey,
we'll give you a couple of years.
Well, it's so there's a lot of, like we said, there's a lot of moving parts. You guys are going to play your matches in Mullen Gymnasium, right?
Yes.
But you're also going to use Calendar Gymnasium, aka the hot box, to use for a practice facility as well, correct?
Yes.
So tell me about the girls that you have signed, the girls that have bought into your vision. How many of those are kids that maybe you had prior relationships with from club? And what's it been like going and saying, like, hey, I need you to come play. I can't show you what it's been like. I'm just going to tell you what it's going to be like.
And Coach, I'm interested to know where they're from too. And listen, don't want to put you on the spot. How many do you have on the roster right now?
15.
Okay, so don't feel like you got to name each one because you might make a mistake if you're anything like me. But you're probably perfect and would nail it. But anyway, back to Cliff's question, and then kind of where they're from.
Yeah. So we've got some from Hattiesburg. We've got 2 from Hattiesburg. We've got 1 from Biloxi, 1 from like the Bay St. Louis area, 2 from Starkville, and the rest. And then Micah Clare, obviously from Lloyd Star. And then my out-of-staters from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Houston, Texas, and Bridgeport. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I'm sure I'm missing somebody there.
I think that's 15. Great job.
But excited about them, and then kind of just what, I wanted to do going in is a lot of these girls kind of were on the fence about, am I going to play a college sport? Am I going to go to the 4-year and just be a student? And I kind of gave them my vision, and I think communication is huge, especially when you're, pitching something that doesn't exist yet. And for me, it was like, hey, I'm not going to be, perfect. But I can promise you, if you come here, you're going to feel valued as a player. You're going to feel seen. You're going to be taken care of. And the volleyball side, you're going to leave a better volleyball player. I was like, I can't promise. I tell all of the kids that sit in my chair when they come on recruitment visits, even if we offer them, they sign, they don't sign. I tell them not to worry about like the feeling of chasing the bright lights and the big and shiny things in their recruitment process. But I tell them to chase that overwhelming sense of peace of when they've found their place. They'll know it. They might not know what will happen in the next 2 years of them being there in that program, but they know that they're going to be taken care of and cared about, and they're going to get better as people and volleyball players. And I just got kids that want to work, and some of them are maybe a little late in the recruiting process or didn't get what they wanted out of the recruiting process. And so some of them have a chip on their shoulder from their prior experiences, and then others, they're just good kids at the end of the day. They want to work hard, they want to get better, and they just jumped at the opportunity to learn about everything. I think in this first year, which will probably never happen again, I had more yeses than I had nos for a startup program, which is crazy.
That. Yeah.
That just means you're a great recruiter.
That's it.
It's all the Lord. It is. It was a ton of prayer, but it's just been super cool for them to I brought them in on all of their visits. I showed them what the locker room was. It's completely different now.
See, that is completely different than my recruiting experience when I was at Colan, because my guys had to be in a dorm that is nothing now. It's a dorm that sits there. LZ. At that time, it was called Hellsy, and so sometimes I'd be like, I'll show you the dorm later, and then but you got to be just upfront and honest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I showed them, the gym, and then we got into the space that our locker room's going to be, and kind of, I guess you would say, our wing would be for our sport. And I mean, there was nothing in there. I mean, there was my desk, my computer, and my printer, because that's really all I had at the time, because I couldn't worry about anything else.
Hey, girls, close your eyes.
Yes.
And I want you to envision this.
I would preface. I was like, okay, here's where this staircase is where we start using our imagination. I love it. And I just kind of explained to them my vision of what I saw for their space that they're going to be a part of every single day. And like for the locker room, for example, I was like, I want this to be a place where y'all don't just come in, get ready for practice, and leave. Yeah. Like, I want y'all to feel comfortable in here. I want it to be a home away from home. And so I'm really excited to show them what everything looks like now, because it's completely different. Wow. And we actually have lockers in our locker room, which is cool.
And hey, you hired an assistant coach as well. Tell me about that. She's somebody that's got some collegiate experience, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. She her name's Nyla. She's originally from Tallahassee, Florida. She's currently living in Pensacola, and she's the assistant coach at Gulf Breeze High School. I actually played at Southern Miss my 5th year with her little sister, Kaylin Demps, who was a freshman standout at Southern Miss and then went on to transfer and be a rest of her career standout at Louisiana Lafayette. And Nyla played at University of Tampa. She won 2 national championships at University of Tampa, 1 in beach, and then immediately after that, 1 an indoor national championship. And she's awesome. Like, she's got all of the right qualities about her that are just going to enhance the athletes' experiences. And she leaped at the opportunity to work together. So I'm excited.
I love that. Yeah, it's just all, like we were talking about, just all part of the puzzle of putting this program together. You signed, talking about your signing class, you signed some players from the Hattiesburg area, picked up my wife was telling me she was talking to a volleyball parent on the phone one day and didn't realize till later that it was Southern Miss athletic director Jeremy McLean's on the phone. He didn't pull that card on her. He was just a dad asking some questions. But his daughter's out of a Presbyterian Christian. Did you sign somebody from Oak Grove too?
I did, Shelby Wedgeworth.
Yep. And then also one thing that I noticed that you did is you got some folks that know what it's like to win. You got a player from OLA, Our Lady Academy down on the coast. They're a perennial power. It helps, right, to bring in kids who know what it's like to play volleyball at a high level, right?
Absolutely. I think, kids that have got the taste of winning, they'll do whatever it takes to not lose. And I always tell everybody and the kids that I coach, you got to hate losing more than you love winning. And so I think, we've got the right pieces in the roster next year. And then another one that's out of state is Rylan Varnado. She's won, in her senior year, she won 2 state championships. She won 1 in volleyball and then indoor track.
Wow.
In the same senior season. And so
she from Baton Rouge?
Yes, Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And so just having those competitors on the team is going to make a huge difference in the mindset that we have from the start.
So most of your girls are going to be freshmen.
Yes,
but you do have one, at least one that's going to be sophomore.
Yeah, and I want you to get to this. She actually picked a kid up that was in the dorms going to school at Colan, but had played volleyball at Northwest Rankin. Tell us about her.
Yeah, I have 3 sophomores coming in. So we've got Nevaeh from Bridgeport. We've got Jakayla from Louisiana Christian, who's transferring in. She's from New Orleans. And then we've got Haley Law. So Haley Law was one of those kids in high school that I think the recruiting process, was just a little late in it, and don't think she had even maybe the opportunities that she wanted or the opportunity to be at the next level. And she liked Colan as a school. It was far enough away from home to be away from home, but close enough to go home to see her family. I know family is huge for her. And she showed up at tryouts. She was an open tryout kid. She walked in. I was like, hello, 5'9" lefty. And, she was really coachable. She had all the great qualities. She played at Northwest Rankin, and Kelsey Poole is doing a great job with that program over there. And then she also had some playing experience at club through a couple of clubs in the area, which set her up to be really competitive in that tryout process.
Well, we've had a great time talking Colin volleyball with you, and I'm personally just super excited to come and watch you guys take the court. When's the first practice going to be, Coach?
Our first practice is July 7th.
Awesome. Well, Y'all Sports is going to be there covering Colin volleyball, watching things, and Brandon, you got a couple more. We
need to name this segment.
Yeah, this is the quick hitters with Brandon Shanatar.
Rapid fire. You ready? All right. Some of these are going to be really easy. All right. Tell me this: best volleyball atmosphere you ever coached in?
Coached in, it had to have been South State, Brandon High School, Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Have you found your favorite place to eat in Lincoln County yet?
Brookhaven area, anywhere, maybe even Wesson. Man, she's so fit, Brandon. She doesn't think about food like you and I do. Have you eaten at Betty's Eat Shop downtown?
I've eaten at
Brookhaven?
Betty's. I've eaten
Okay.
at Betty's
All
and
right.
Georgia Blue, and that's about it.
All right,
and the Mexican restaurant.
Have you gotten a burger at Betty's? Do you like burgers?
Yeah, I like burgers.
Okay, they have the best burger.
Okay.
That you'll ever. I know it it's nice and it looks kind of fancy, and my buddy Fitz has the lights turned down low. But get a burger and fries, and I promise you will not regret it.
Yeah.
Describe your team in one word.
Hungry.
What's your message to your current players as you start your first season?
Believe.
What's your message to future recruits?
I think the message is to those future recruits, that's a tough one. See the vision.
Yeah, I like it. All right, last one. This season is successful if
We give everything that we have in the tank, and we can look at ourselves at the end of the day and say we gave it all we had.
I like it.
Oh,
Great job,
man,
Coach.
Coach, you got me fired up. She's got
Chill
me fired
bumps are
up.
ready.
I'm
Let's
telling
go.
you. That's Anna Nelson. She is the first ever head volleyball coach in program history at Copiah Lincoln Community College. Coach, Brandon and I are going to be there. We're going to watch a match. And you know what? We might even do a Y'all Sports from the bleachers at Colin Volleyball.
Would love it.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's Coach Anna Nelson. Brandon and I'll be back to wrap it up next on Y'all Sports Radio.
Looking for the perfect unique gift? Visit Juan Seed Store at 636 Greenview Trail in Brookhaven. Discover our stunning waxed amaryllis bulbs. Simply place and watch them grow. Soy lotion candles from Waveland Candle Company provide an eco-friendly clean burn and provide a moisturizing scented lotion when burning. Sippy Scents out of Pearl has created the most intense fragrances for detergents, cleaners, room sprays, and oils. Shop these selections and more today at Juan Seed Store.
Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call Sam Ballard today at 601-669-5999. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Man, that's a jam. Just gonna let that one play.
Leave your scratchy voice out of this.
Make sure you put that one on your beach playlist. Man, that was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Anna Nelson is so well spoken. She's always got an answer ready. And then she told us during the break that she had done some broadcast journalism, earlier in her life, and that comes through for sure. What? Have you ever been to volleyball, like
Yes.
Arkansas State? Did you go watch volleyball?
Volleyball was big at Arkansas State, and we, it was a lot of fun to go watch. And of course, the volleyball players, the team, they were a lot of fun to hang around with too. And actually, we shared facilities at that point. Now Arkansas State has new and improved stuff, and so they, men and women are. Well, actually, the football team has its own area, and I think other sports still use the same common area. But anyway, they're in there grinding in the mornings and working out just like the football and basketball guys were, and they work hard. One thing that I found is volleyball and softball players are a lot of fun. They're just cool, great attitudes and personalities, and so
some super athletes too. I can remember I had a class at Southern Miss with a girl that was from California that was a volleyball player that got recruited there, and she was 6'1" and could just had an insane vertical. Look, one of the things that Coach Anna Nelson was talking about there, starting this program from scratch, that I really, really enjoyed hearing her say this, and I really think that she's going to see this come to fruition. And she talks about wanting to help grow the game in Southwest Mississippi, and I hope she stays for a long time as able to do that. Southwest just started a volleyball program last year. They played their first season. We'll talk to somebody from down there soon about what's going on at Southwest. We're like NATO. We love everybody. We're like Nike. We love everybody. And so, but she's talking about wanting to help coaches, things like that. And it just makes me think about like Coach Austin Hood at Boca Chica, Kat Wilson at Lloyd Star, my friend Bertha that just got the job at BHS. Those coaches are getting together and they're learning. Yeah. The drills, the strategies, they're learning with each other. They're taking their kids to
It's
camp.
about to take off here.
It is.
And really explode. I think that, it's just such a fun sport. It's played indoors, so you don't have to, you're not out in the elements and all of that. Let me tell you this, because I know we're about to wrap it up, but she's going to do a great job. And one of the reasons she's going to do a great job is one of these core fundamental concepts that she has as she recruits. She says, I want to recruit the player that hates losing more than they love winning. And if she takes that mentality and that's how she recruits, hey, listen, you can take a not the greatest player, maybe somebody average or above. If they have that mentality, you can go a long way with that type of player.
My old boss, Dennis Sims, he used to talk about how basketball crazy he was as head basketball coach at Southwest, and he would go on Sunday afternoons to New Orleans. Tim Floyd, who was the coach at UNO at that time, would have a basketball roundtable on Sunday afternoons. When you love it and it eats you up, it's all you can think about. You're watching tape, you're on YouTube, you're looking for new drills, and I think that we've got a fertile ground for players in this area. We got a fertile ground for coaches in this area. We got the athletes, without a doubt. We got the athletes. We just got to get them into the sport a little bit younger because there is a learning curve.
Sure.
But it's an exciting game. My sister loved shooting volleyball this year. She went out to Lloyd Star, captured pictures of them at their run to the playoffs, and she was like, Cliff, the atmosphere at a volleyball match is second to none. Our friend Sherry Lowe, who's actually Michael Claire's grandma, she told me once at church, she was like, I don't know what's going on, but I know everybody's loving it and I yell it. So shout out to my girl Sherry Lowe. Shout out to Michael Claire Lowe. Shout out to Coach Anna Nelson for coming on. That was a great show today. We'll be back next week with more Y'all Sports Radio. Until then, I'm Cliff Furr. He's Brandon Shamatara, and I will see you on the sidelines of Southwest Mississippi.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.